The Battle of the Yalu River, fought on April 30th and May 1st, 1904, was one of the earliest major land battles of the Russo-Japanese War. This conflict was primarily between the Russian Empire and the Empire of Japan over imperial ambitions in Manchuria and Korea. The Battle of the Yalu River marked a significant turning point, as it was the first major land victory for Japan against Russia, demonstrating Japan's emergence as a formidable military power in the early 20th century. The geopolitical tensions leading to the Russo-Japanese War were rooted in both nations' ambitions in East Asia. Russia sought to expand its influence over Manchuria and Korea to secure a warm water port on the Pacific Ocean, while Japan aimed to assert its dominance in the region to secure its own economic and strategic interests. The failure of negotiations between Russia and Japan over the division of these territories led to the outbreak of war in February 1904. The Battle of the Yalu River was strategically important for both sides. For Japan, crossing the Yalu River into Manchuria would signify their advance into Chinese territory controlled by Russia and challenge the Russian forces stationed there. The Yalu River served as the border between Korea and Manchuria, and control of the river was crucial for launching further operations into Russian-held territories. The Japanese First Army, commanded by General Kuroki Tamamoto, was tasked with the operation. The army consisted of 3 divisions, totaling around 42,500 men, supported by artillery and other logistical resources. Their objective was to cross the Yalu River and engage the Russian forces on the opposite bank. The Russian defense, under General Mikhail Zasulich, consisted of approximately 18,000 troops. These forces were entrenched along the riverbank, fortified with artillery and machine guns, intending to prevent the Japanese from establishing a bridgehead on the Manchurian side of the river. On the morning of April 30th, 1904, the Japanese commenced their operation. They executed a carefully coordinated maneuver that involved crossing the river at multiple points to outflank and confuse the Russian defenses. The main crossing occurred at Uiju, now Uiju in North Korea, where the Japanese engineers quickly constructed pontoon bridges to facilitate the rapid movement of troops and artillery across the river. Meanwhile, diversionary attacks were launched both upstream and downstream to distract and disorient the Russian defenders. The Japanese forces demonstrated tactical superiority and discipline during the battle. Their artillery bombardment was precise and effective, targeting Russian positions and weakening their defensive capabilities. The Japanese infantry advanced with determination, utilizing cover and maintaining cohesive unit formations as they engaged the Russian forces. Despite facing heavy resistance, the Japanese soldiers exhibited resilience and adaptability, pressing forward in the face of Russian artillery and machine gun fire. The Russians, on the other hand, faced several challenges. General Zasulich's forces were spread thin along a wide front, and communication between units was problematic due to the challenging terrain and inadequate infrastructure. Moreover, the Russian defenses were not well coordinated, with some positions isolated and unable to support each other effectively. As the Japanese advanced, the Russian forces struggled to mount a cohesive defense and were gradually pushed back from their positions along the river. The decisive moment of the battle occurred on May 1st, when the Japanese successfully breached the Russian defenses and established a secure foothold on the Manchurian side of the Yalu River. The Japanese infantry's relentless advance, combined with their superior firepower and tactical acumen, forced the Russians to retreat. The Russian withdrawal was chaotic, with many units unable to regroup effectively, resulting in heavy casualties and the capture of Russian artillery pieces and equipment by the Japanese. The Battle of the Yalu River was a resounding victory for Japan. It demonstrated the effectiveness of Japan's modernized military forces and their ability to execute complex operations with precision and efficiency. The victory also boosted Japanese morale and confidence, setting the stage for further successes in subsequent battles during the Russo-Japanese War. For Russia, the defeat was a significant setback. It exposed weaknesses in Russian military strategy and organization, as well as the challenges of defending vast territories with inadequate infrastructure and logistical support. The battle underscored the need for reform and modernization within the Russian military, a lesson that would have long-term implications for the Russian Empire. The Battle of the Yalu River had far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate military outcomes. It signaled a shift in the balance of power in East Asia, as Japan's victory challenged the perception of Western dominance and demonstrated that an Asian nation could successfully challenge a major European power. This success also garnered international attention and respect for Japan, elevating its status on the world stage. In conclusion, the Battle of the Yalu River was a pivotal moment in the Russo-Japanese War and a significant event in the broader context of early 20th century geopolitics. The battle highlighted Japan's emergence as a modern military power, capable of executing complex operations and achieving strategic objectives. It also exposed the vulnerabilities of the Russian military and underscored the changing dynamics of global power relations. The lessons learned from this battle would shape military strategies and international relations in the years to come, influencing the course of history in East Asia and beyond.